afternoon or a good evening. I hope you are all taking as best care of yourselves as you possibly can right now. There's crazy stuff happening all over the world, especially here in America, with the election still being decided. No clear answers for us here quite yet, but they will come. And I would just like to say thank you so much for joining me in my practice here today. I'm presently in sunny San Diego, so it's quite beautiful, lovely. You can see the mountains just outside the garage here. And yeah, I just hope that you're taking care of yourself, and it's going to be a big theme of today's practice, is to stay true to yourself, find that balance of listening to your body and taking rest when you need it, but still not being afraid to challenge yourself a little further when and where you can. So whenever you are ready, we'll be starting either in Tadasana, not Tadasana. I'm getting very much ahead of myself. We'll be starting seated today, not standing. So we'll either be starting in traditional child's pose or hero's pose. So if you happen to have some blocks, those will be really handy for today's class. But if not, that's okay too. You can easily modify it without them. They're just always a nice little tool to have if you happen to have them. And they're definitely not super expensive, and I'm sure you can easily buy some used ones from some teachers right now. I know that's where I got these ones, were from a fellow teacher who no longer needed them. But yeah, so we're going to start in, like I said, traditional child's pose or hero's pose. If you choose to start in hero's pose, legs stacked beneath or sitting on top of the legs, calves over the thighs, and your sits bones are resting on your heels. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, if you happen to have a block, you can take that block and just place it between your legs, and then your sits bones can rest on the block, and then you bring your knees back together. And that way it's a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more room. Now, if you choose to take your traditional child's pose, the lower half will stay the same as if you were in heroes. You can keep the block beneath you or remove it, whichever, again, is more comfortable in your body. And we are going to just fold the torso over the thighs, arms outstretched behind us. Forehead will come to the mat. And just begin to find your breath here. Not worrying about trying to control the breath. Just noticing the natural rhythm of our own body. Maybe taking notice if you are breathing more with your chest than your stomach, or vice versa. And just releasing any judgment of what that might look like. And again, just taking notice of it. Taking notice of the sensation. Taking notice of how your body feels, either in hero's or child's pose. I just want to take this time while we are centering within ourselves and our bodies and our mat and our spaces to remind us to, once again, always be true to yourself, to your being. Always speak to what aligns with you, and don't worry about the rest. As we go through our practice today, if at any point you feel you need to stop and take a child's pose, please, please, please feel free to do so. There is never any judgment for someone who chooses to take a rest in a yoga class when they feel they need it. You can do extended child's pose, Utthita Balasana, with the knees wide, toes together, arms outstretched. Or you can just do traditional, just as we began today. Again, it's whatever feels good in your body. And just take that moment in child's pose if you need it to recenter, to reconnect, and then join us again in the practice as soon as you are ready. And there is absolutely no harm in doing that. Also, feel free to get up and take a rest and get some water whenever you need it. I cannot emphasize enough how much this practice is yours and yours alone. Your practice will not look the same as anyone else's practice, which I think is part of what makes yoga so unique and so beautiful, is that every single individual has a different perspective, an idea of what yoga means to them and what it does for them in their bodies and their minds and in their spirits. So that being said, we're back in traditional child's pose or in hero's pose. I'm going to take 3 big deep breaths in together. So taking a big deep inhale in, filling the belly, fill the lungs. Guide the breath up to the top of the throat. And exhale, release all the air back out. 2 more just like that with your own breath this time. Beautiful. So now, whether you were in hero's pose or child's pose, we're going to come up and rock forward, pressing into our palms, lifting the hips up. If you had a block beneath you, go ahead and remove that block now. Just placing it at top of your mat where it can be easily reached at a later point. We're going to be in tabletop. So hips are stacked over the knees, shoulders are stacked over the wrists, palms are spread wide, and the spine is neutral here. And from here, we're going to start moving into some cat and cows. So on the inhale, we'll drop into cow, lifting the gaze, belly sinks towards the ground below you as the chest opens. And then option to tuck the toes here for a slightly deeper stretch. And then exhale, we'll move into cat, the spine rounds up behind us. Chin drops to chest. And then inhale, cow pose. I like to have a light bend in my elbows in cow pose. And then exhale, cat. Please feel free to move through your cat and your cows with the rhythm of your body and your breath. You have total control here. You may go as fast or as slow as you'd like. Just listening to what your body feels it needs most at this point in time. Maybe you bring some movement into your cat-cows. Rocking from side to side, adding in some hip circles. And when you're ready, go ahead and come back to center. And from here, we're going to lower it down onto our forearms. So we're in tabletop, and then we're going to lower each forearm down, spreading the fingertips wide. And then be sure when you're here that your weight is evenly dispersed between your fingertips, your palms, and your forearms. We would like to avoid having our weight in our elbows. So trying to see if we can evenly disperse that weight. And then also we wanted to avoid dumping into our shoulders like so. We want to lift up and out of the shoulders, helping to keep the chest open. And we're going to come into dolphin pose. So tuck the toes and then lift the hips up. If this is where you're at with dolphin, you're already in it. Fantastic, and I'm so glad you're here. If you would like a deeper stretch or a deeper challenge, you can begin to walk the feet towards the elbows. For me, I like to be a little bit wider with my dolphin. Feels a little better on my body. And then also, don't worry if your heels don't touch the ground. It's more than okay if they don't. Be sure to take some big, generous breaths here. As we inhale, we're going to lengthen the spine, lifting the gaze. And exhale, fold, letting the head drop as the chin comes to the chest for some spinal flexion. Then inhale, extend the spine, lift the gaze. And exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. And exhale, chin comes to chest. And on the next inhale, we're going to lift the gaze and press into the palms as we lift up. And then exhale back to downward facing dog, or Adho Mukha Svanasana. I'm just going to fix my mat here so I don't slide all over the place. So we're in downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal the feet back and forth. Walking the dog out, saying hello. Just getting a feel for your down dog and where you're at in your body and in your practice. Letting the head hang heavy. You're going to find there's an external rotation in your shoulders here. And then again, if your heels don't come all the way down to the ground, or even if you have a slight bend in your knees, that's more than okay. There is no perfect version of any pose. Whatever version you are in, that is the perfect version. So we're going to take a big deep inhale in, and we're going to practice some lion's breath. So we're going to fill the belly and the lungs with as much air as we can. And then when we exhale, we're going to open the mouth wide and stick the tongue out and make lots of noise. So inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Bring a lift the gaze on the inhale, and then exhale, step the right foot forward for low lunge. We're then going to lower the back knee, untuck the back toes, and then shift our weight back to come into half splits. Flexing that front foot. And then also be mindful while in the half splits to not put too much weight on your bent knee, your left side. We want to try to, again, find balance and bring a bit of evenness to our weight amongst both legs. If you have your blocks, it's a great time to use it, but if not, you can just come up onto your fingertips and just stay on your fingertips if you need to. Maybe you can come all the way down with your palms, but everyone's at different levels, so meet yourself where you're at. If you're finding you have any knee pain, just fold your mat over for some extra cushion. I'm going to use my blocks for this one. So on our inhale, we're going to lengthen with the spine. Keeping the chest open as the gaze comes forward. And then exhale, we're going to fold over that front leg. Feeling into that hamstring stretch. Inhale, lift the gaze and lengthen the spine, keeping the chest open. I find having my core engaged here always helps too when I go through these postures. And then exhale, fold once more over that front leg. Inhale, lift up, coming onto the fingertips, expanding and stretching through the spine. Finding that length. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, we're going to shift the weight forward back into that front foot. Frame the foot on each side with the palms. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. And we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Taking a few deep breaths here to recenter yourself. We're going to do lion's breath one more time. So filling the belly and filling the lungs. And exhale, all that air back out. Next inhale, lift the gaze, and then exhale, bring that left foot forward for low lunge. Lowering the back knee, untucking the back toes, and then shifting the weight back behind you for half splits on the opposite side. Again, being mindful of how your weight is balanced, trying not to lean too far to one side or the other. While in this posture, and this time I won't use the blocks. Inhale, lifting the gaze, lengthening the spine, chest is open. Sorry, my knee's hurting me, so now I have to fold my mat for some extra support here. And then exhale, we're going to fold over that front leg. And again, keep in mind that one side will not be the same as the other. So you might find that you're able to fold a little deeper on one side than the other side. And that's totally normal and nothing to be worried about or ashamed of. Inhale, we're going to lengthen once more. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Just feeling into the hamstring stretch. And then on the inhale, we're going to gently shift the weight forward, framing each side of that front foot with the palms. Tucking the toes. And then we're going to step back into downward facing dog. So we're back in down dog. Adho Mukha Shivanasana. Taking a few breaths to recenter ourselves once more. And we're going to lift the gaze. And we're going to walk, sip, or float to the top of our mats. And then on the inhale, slowly rise up, vertebra by vertebra, into Tadasana Mountain Pose. Crown of your head should be the very last thing to rise. Want to make sure our feet are hip distance apart. Palms facing forward. We're going to inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, palms come to touch as you bring them back to your heart center for Samastitihi. Inhale, arms come up overhead one more time. Exhale, cactus the arms, tuck the tailbone and lift the gaze, opening the chest for a slight back bend here. And then inhale back up to center. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, palms come to shins. Shoulders, blades are pulling together, gaze is slightly forward, spine is flat. And then exhale, forward fold once more. And this time on the inhale, we're going to come up to chair pose. So tailbone is tucked. Arms can be up overhead, or they can be in Samastitihi, hands at heart center. I prefer them to be up overhead. Core is strong and engaged. We want to have the weight in our heels here. And when you look down, you can just barely see the tops of your toes past your knees. This is going to be chair or fierce pose. Finding your breath here and trusting that your body will carry you through the posture. And then exhale, go ahead and forward fold once more. Palms coming down to the earth. Maybe you find a slight bend in your knees and you let your head hang heavy here. And on the next inhale, we're going to step back with the right foot, plant the back heel down, and rise up for warrior one. Hips are squared to the front, facing forward. Put your hands on your hips to help you find what that feels like. Keeping the pelvis neutral. As the arms come up overhead. And just maybe see if you can bring your knee over top of your ankle. Though if you find it's better for your body to have your knee a little behind or even in front of the ankle, that's more than okay. Just be mindful of your body and what it's telling you it might need. Then exhale, we're going to straighten the front leg, shorten the stance if you need to, and then fold forward for pyramid pose. Again, a great place for your blocks if you feel you would like to use them. You can have them here, flat, or even at their highest level here. If you don't have blocks, you can easily use your fingertips or even lightly place your hands on your shin. It's more than fine too. You may also have a slight bend in the front knee. It does not need to be totally straight. Just listen to your body and meet it where it's at. So for this first couple times, we'll be using the blocks. Breathing in pyramid pose. Inhale, we're going to lift the gaze and lengthen with the spine, just like we've been doing, almost like a halfway lift, but in pyramid. And then exhale, we're going to fold. And inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen one last time. And then exhale, fold one last time. And then inhale, we're going to step the back foot up to meet the front. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, chair pose once more. Again, finding your breath, trusting your body will carry you through the posture. Keeping that core engaged. And then exhale, forward fold. And inhale, step back with the left foot, pivoting that back heel down as you rise up for warrior one on the opposite side. Again, hips are square to the front, anchoring down with the back heel. As the arms come up overhead. Seeing where your front knee is stacked. Is it a little behind? Is it just over or even in front of the ankle? And just taking notice of that, where your body naturally finds itself and how that feels. Exhale, straighten that front leg, shorten the stance if you need to come into pyramid pose on the opposite side. Again, option to micro bend the front knee, to use your blocks or bring your palms to your shins. I'll demo that option for this one. So inhale, lift the gaze, lengthen with the spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the gaze, lengthen with the spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale one more time, gaze lifts as we lengthen. And exhale, fold one more time. And then inhale, we're going to step the back foot to meet the front. And exhale, fold. chair pose once more. That will be our flow today. We'll start and end in chair, doing a bit of a sun salutation B variation. Surya Namaskar B. So exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right foot back, rise up for warrior one. And exhale, pyramid pose. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, step the back foot to meet the front. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up for chair pose. Maybe you find a slightly deeper chair this time. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, step the left foot back behind you this time as you rise up for warrior one on the opposite side. And exhale, straighten that front leg and come into pyramid pose. Inhale, lengthen the spine, finding a slight lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Forward head's coming to the knee. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Inhale, step the back foot to meet the front. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up for chair pose. Maybe you sink even deeper than last time. Again, trusting your breath and your body will carry you through the posture. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the right foot back behind us, planting the back heel down, rising up for warrior one. And exhale, straighten that front leg out, shortening the stance for pyramid pose. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. And so on the inhale, we'll step that back foot forward to meet the front. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up for chair pose. This is the last time, so see if you can, this can be the deepest you go into this posture. Really find a way to challenge yourself here. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, step the left foot back this time, rising up for warrior one. And then exhale, straighten that front leg and stepping forward for pyramid pose. Inhale, halfway lift and pyramid. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, step that back foot to meet the front. And exhale, plant the palms, and then step back into downward facing dog. Coming back to the breath if you lost it. Just taking a moment to breathe and be with your body. And on the inhale, we're going to lift the gaze. We're going to come to dolphin one more time. Lowering to the forearms. And again, for the extra challenge, feel free to walk the feet a little closer to the elbows and the shoulders. Being mindful not to dump too much in the shoulders, lifting up and out. Keeping an even weight dispersed across the forearms. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, we're going to lengthen. And then exhale, gently begin to walk yourself back into a forearm plank. Core is engaged. And then as you're ready, gently and controlled, release your hips down to the mat, untuck the toes. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So forearms remain where they were, shoulders are stacked over the elbows. And just breathe into this back bend. If you find you're experiencing low back pain, I invite you to engage your core. In doing so, you'll be able to protect those low lumbar joints of the spine. If you want a deeper stretch, feel free to lift up and out. If you need a slightly less stretch, go ahead and lower the head slightly. Just again being mindful, we don't want to try to avoid dumping too much into our shoulders. But you can very gently come forward or go back up, whatever feels good in your body. And then I encourage you to notice if your glutes are engaged. Maybe see if you can release them. Breathing here into this back bend. And on the next exhale, we're going to go ahead and lower all the way down, letting the arms stretch long by your sides, resting whichever cheek is most comfortable for you on the mat. Taking a moment here. Whenever you're ready, you're going to press back for Utthita Balasana, extended child's pose. Big toes come to touch, knees are wide. And the arms outstretched in front of you. Forehead comes to the earth. Just finding your breath here. Maybe you choose to get some water. Maybe you choose to come up onto the fingertips for a deeper shoulder stretch. Maybe you rock your head from side to side for a nice little forehead massage. Gently rolling it across the mat, back and forth. And then when you're ready, on the inhale, we'll gently come up and flip over onto our backs. Soles of the feet pressing into the earth below. Arms outstretched on our sides. Maybe your fingertips just lightly graze the backs of your heels. Inhale, lift up to bridge pose. You want a slightly higher lift. You can engage the glutes here. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, we're going to lift back into bridge one more time. And then exhale, come back down. Then when you're ready, you'll cross the left ankle over where the thigh meets the knee for reclined pigeon. If this is a deep enough stretch for you, please stay here. But if you like a deeper stretch, you may press that left knee away from you. Or you may even choose to wrap the palms outside around the right thigh and then hug the legs into the chest. Taking 5 deep breaths here in reclined pigeon. after the fifth breath, gently release both legs back down to the mat, soles of the feet touching the earth. We're going to go ahead and bring the right ankle across where the left thigh meets the knee. Again, if this is a deep enough stretch for you, please stay here. Or option to press the right knee away, or to wrap the fingertips and palms around the back of the left thigh and hug the legs into the chest. Taking 5 more deep breaths in this posture. And just noticing how this side of your body may be a little tighter or even looser than the opposite side. No judgment, no attachment, just taking notice of how your body feels in these poses. And then after the 5th breath, go ahead and release the legs back down. Whenever you're ready, we're going to bring the thighs and the knees into the chest. Just hug the knees into the chest. You can rock back and forth for a little spinal massage if you like. Whenever you're ready, you're going to bring your forehead to your knees and squeeze, 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 squeeze. And exhale, release everything back down the mat. Coming into our final resting state of Shavasana. I like to have the palms facing the sky to receive or facing the earth to ground. But you may also just place your palms wherever feels most comfortable for you. I invite you to close the eyes if you feel safe and comfortable here. And then just return to the natural rhythm of your breath. Find yourself thinking of the past or the future. Just notice that. But then come back to the present, to the here and the now. Staying with your body, staying with your breath. Know you are held. Know that you are loved. Know that this practice in this space will always be just yours and no one else's. I invite you to stay in Shavasana as long as you would like. if you are ready, please feel free to join me in a comfortable seated position as we close out today's class. Option to bring the palms together at heart center, or if you would like, you can bring the thumbs to the third eye. And if none of that resonates with you, you may just keep the palms in your lap. There's nothing wrong with choosing to do so. And I would just like to say thank you again for being here with me in my practice today. And know that the light in me honors and sees the light in each and every one of you. And may we all strive to stay connected with love and compassion and empathy for others. And may we all work to release anger, division, and negativity, and to approach every situation, no matter if we understand it or not, with curiosity always. Everlasting love and gratitude, my friends. Thank you.